Welcome to the vlog. Okay, I don't want to say it's been a minute I've been here, and honestly, it feels like I don't know how to do this anymore. Um, yeah, but I've told myself that I'm just going to do it. And this is an life update video, which is long overdue because the last time I dropped a video was 2 years ago, and even then I had dropped just 10 videos and I disappeared. And then I've been trying to get back, but it's been very difficult. I've had doubts. I've asked myself, should I just scrap it entirely? So I'm nervous because honestly, it feels like I no longer know how to do this. So I'm really nervous. But I told myself I'm going to come and do it anyway and just update whoever is still here. I don't know if there's anybody here still. I know I was progressing with the number of subscribers I had, but I mean, I don't blame anybody. It's been 2 years, nothing's been happening. So naturally, people would want to leave, right? So I just thought it was proper to come here and drop an update first about, why I was gone for so long. So I'm going to try to make it as short as possible, and also just to, you know, reintroduce the vlog and talk about how it would go moving forward. So hi guys, welcome. It's Coco. Where have I been? Okay, so I've been doing life. Life has been happening to me. Life has kicked me in so many ways in the last 2 years, but I am here. I'm in front of the camera talking about it nervously. Okay, first of all, the main reason why I stopped vlogging for a while was because I felt very ill. I felt so sick after the last video. In fact, around the last video I dropped, I felt probably was the same day I dropped that video with a friend. I felt really ill. I didn't know what was going on. I thought, it was just something normal. Just go and check it out in the hospital and then get back. And it turned out that I had ulcer that had just, gotten out of control. And I felt like, okay, ulcer, just take ulcer meds and it'll be gone. And from ulcer med, I started to react to the drugs. I had anxiety. I had major anxiety. Apart from falling ill from and having ulcer, I had moved to another city. So when I started the vlog, I was in Lagos, right? It was around the time I was serving, and I felt like I always wanted to move to Lagos. So it was a good opportunity to just move. So I came to Lagos, and then I had all these plans. I was going to come to Lagos because I literally uprooted my business when I was in Delta to come to Lagos. And I felt like I was going to come to Lagos, start my business all over again, get an apartment. I had all these plans. I had it planned because I am such a planner. I like to plan stuff ahead. I do not like things to take me by surprise. But getting to Lagos after service, it didn't quite work the way I thought it was going to work. And I couldn't start the business. I wasn't making any money. And I was determined at the time that I didn't want to work for a person. So I had to move back to Delta. I was still vlogging, here and there while trying to figure things out. And when I moved back to Delta, I felt like, okay, you know what, let me start a business. Now, before then, I was a makeup artist. I am a makeup artist. And then that was what I was doing for the longest time before I moved to Lagos. And I felt like I've always thought about, going into the food business. And I felt like maybe not makeup this time. Maybe let me just try my hands on food. And then I started a bistro in Warri. And I really put in all the resources I had into that. Everything I had, I put into that. And I don't want to bore anybody with the details. I also don't want to hurt myself because that was a very hurtful period for me. I don't want to hurt myself by going into everything that happened. But long story short, it didn't quite work according to plan. My health kept getting in the way. I didn't have enough help. I kept falling sick while trying to manage the business. I didn't have enough resources, and it was mostly my health and resources, honestly. And the business packed up even before it started, and it did something to me mentally because it just broke me. Because at that point, that was like a last resort. I felt like, okay, this has to work. And when it didn't work, I always have a plan A to Z, maybe not Z, but plan A to E. But at that point, I just had that plan. That was the plan B, going back and starting that business. So when it didn't work out, it was like I had no plan. It felt like my life was over. while I was battling with my health, and then I fell into this mad depression. And I understand, well, I mean, I've had people talk about depression. I've maybe experienced it in the past. Yeah, but I didn't quite understand depression until it happened to me in 2021. I was so broke. I was so broke and so depressed that I was actually flirting with the idea of killing myself. It wasn't just, oh, maybe I should die. It was me taking knives, taking blades, putting by the side of my bed and looking at it like, you know what, let me muster the courage to do it. I mean, of course, I didn't want to die, but I just wanted the pain to stop. It was bad that I didn't have money to eat. I would, and then when the business was no longer working, because I didn't have enough money to buy things like stove, gas cooker, and generator for the business, so I had to move the ones I had at home. What that meant was I was no longer cooking in my house. I didn't have generator to supply me electricity, and it was crazy anyway. So when it felt like it wasn't working, and then I had to pick up myself, I remember this period that I didn't even have money to fill the gas. I brought the gas back home, but I didn't have money to fill it. I didn't want to ask for help from anybody, from family, because I felt like I just felt really bad. I just felt like, is this what my life has become? Have I become the person who has started to ask money for stuff? Because I'm a very independent person, so I really struggle with that a lot. So that period, I went to take the pack of Indomie from the store, and then I would wake up in the morning and put a pack inside a bowl and cover it for a while, cold water, and then later I would go and sieve out the water, put the salt, shake it together, and eat it. Look, I've never had it as bad as I had it in 2021. And then at that point I knew that it was time for me. I don't know how to lick my wounds for long. I don't know how to throw pity parties. I don't know how to feel sorry for myself. I was able to get past the depression stage with a lot of help from my mom, my sisters, a few friends. Yeah, I was able to get over it. And I just told myself that, okay, what's next? And the last thing on my mind at the time was vlogging. I said, what's next? Okay, I just wanted to get back to Lagos because going back to Delta, it just felt different. Everything felt different. The people felt different. I really couldn't connect with the place as much. So it just felt like it was time to move altogether. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have any money to come to Lagos and rent an apartment. I just knew I had to leave. And to make matters worse, my mom fell sick. My mom fell sick, and I followed her to the hospital. So I was there when it all happened, and then my anxiety came back. I had anxiety so bad that I was constantly going to the hospital to get myself tested for different things. My mental health was in the gutters, guys. I'm telling you that I would wake up and be convinced that I had something in my body. I tested my kidneys, my liver, my heart, my I tested everything. Like the doctors were tired. If I felt like this doctor was tired of me, I would go to this hospital to do another test. I lost so much weight. I know I always wanted to, maintain a certain size, but I wasn't even doing so much to try to lose weight. I was just losing weight. And that also was giving me concern, like, is something wrong? And then when I moved to Lagos in November 2021, I just packed my bag and told a friend that, can I come to your city for a couple of um, weeks, and I came back to Lagos and I tried to apply for jobs. I attended some interviews. I didn't. By December, I had not gotten any job, so I knew I just had to go home to recuperate because I was in such a bad place mentally. And then I went home in December. My mom wasn't getting better. I came back to Lagos in January and said, you know what, let's keep pushing. I kept searching for jobs. I kept applying. I kept taking short courses online. I kept tweaking my CV, all that. And in January, by the end of January, I got a job. And when I got a job, I didn't have an apartment. I had to live where I was. I didn't have any money to rent an apartment at the time. But yeah, something happened. I was able to raise some money. I got my apartment. I was slowly, you know, finding purpose again. I was slowly having plans again. But it felt like I had lost myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. I had a lot of self doubt. It was hard for me. It was really hard for me. And then I kept thinking, oh, should I start vlogging again? But that was really not what was on my mind at the time. And then in the middle of 2022, when it started to look like everything was working, when it started to look like, okay, gradually getting myself back, my mom's health got so bad. It got so bad. And then in September, I lost my mom. Excuse me. You know, growing up with my mom was the strongest person I knew. And I had seen her go through a lot of near death experiences. I'd seen her struggle. I sort of convinced myself that my mom had 9 lives and she was never going to die. And then even when stuff was happening, her health was deteriorating, I kept saying she would get out of it. I was due for a break in October, and then my sister had called me one morning to say, "Oh, you have to come and see mom. She's really sick." And I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm due for leave in 2 weeks. I'm going to come." And my sister just said, "You might not meet her if you come in 2 weeks." And I was like, I remember being in this apartment. I just broke down and started to cry, and that was when it dawned on me that what's going on. And I just texted my boss that morning and said I was a mess at work. Oh, I have to go home. So and so thing happened. And then when I saw my mom, I saw her for the first time since March. I ran out of the room because she was a shadow of herself, right? And I was like, okay, I had okay. I won't say I've never lost a parent because I lost my dad in 2011, but I didn't grow up with my dad. I didn't experience that. I didn't know what that was like. And 5 days after I got home, we had taken my mom to the hospital, right? And then I remember her saying to me that, oh, I said I had to go home because I was tired from walking around the hospital. And then she was like, oh, you want to leave me here? I said, no, I'm not leaving you. I'm coming back to see you tomorrow. I really can't sleep here and stuff. And my sister came to me that night while I was sleeping in the middle of the night. I don't know why she broke the news to me like that, but she just tapped me, Jennifer, Jennifer. I said, well, she said, Mama is dead. And I'm like, what? Wait. Ooh, yeah. So that happened. I don't want to speak on that further, but that happened. Grief is very wicked because I would never get over that. I'm not over that. I'm not close to being over that. But yeah, well, that sent me right back to into depression and anxiety. It's a slippery slope, honestly, but I'm a lot better. Every day is better than the previous day, and I just wanted to just start this because I started this for a purpose. I had a plan in mind. I had a picture of how I wanted this to run. And I felt like, you know what, I'm hurting. I'm going through a lot of stuff, but I'm pushing myself. I want to push myself to do this because I really want this to become a thing. I'm trying to build a community, a brand. So, yeah, here I am doing it. And lastly, why I have not vlogged in a while. When I introduced the vlog, the idea I had in mind was to always have somebody to talk about these topics rather than just talk about them alone. But what I didn't put in mind was how to access these people and how I was going to get them to me. I didn't consider the fact that I'm not a people's person. I'm not very social. I have a very, very, very small circle. And that also limited me because at the time where I was ready to start vlogging, I kept thinking, oh, where will I get this and that and this person and that person? Until it just occurred to me that, you know what, just change it, tweak the vlog, and do it in such a way that you can come here and just talk and it will still be interesting, right? So that's what I decided to do. And also, yeah, I changed the name. Wine tasting and dirty laundry was good. It's still going to be a lot of dirty laundries, but I decided to go with something else, cocoa unfiltered, because I've stopped taking alcohol as much as I used to. I just take occasionally when I'm out, and then it would not make sense if I said wine tasting and dirty laundry, and I'm not, tasting any wine. So yes, but I will try my best to make it very entertaining. I'll try to make it educative. I'll try to make it as honest, as raw as possible. I have rebranded it. I have a lot more relatable content that I would love to share, and then I just want to say this for anybody out there who's battling any form of anxiety or depression, who has lost a loved one, who has lost a business, who has gone through any type of loss. And you're watching this, I want to say that you're not alone. I understand what you're going through and you will come out of it. Just try to put one foot forward every day. It's not easy. Nobody gets it. Let me tell you something. Nobody gets it. At some point, I stopped talking about it because people just, and I don't blame them. Nobody will understand what you're going through except you. And people would only be accommodating of your feelings for a while and then they move on to their own life issues because everybody has things that they're going through in life, right? But I'm telling you that don't stop fighting. Don't stop fighting for your life. Don't stop believing that you will get out of it no matter what it is, you will be okay again. You would recover, you would smile, and just hold on to the love that is around you, whether from family or from friends, because that would help you a lot. Okay, so that's it. That's what I just wanted to share. So moving forward, I would go back to, dropping a video. If I find a person I want to have, yes, if not, I'll just do it by myself until I become known enough to start having people without, chasing them and begging them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me. I don't know how long this is, but if you watch to the end, thank you very much. I don't take it for granted. I'll see you next time.